Welcome back. In this lecture, we'll start with approaches in political science. To begin with approaches in political science, we have to understand what does it mean by approaches. Approaches is basically method, a way of interpretation, a way of interpretation, right? It is a perspective. There can be no perspective in natural science. Natural science cannot have any perspective because theories of natural science are definitive theories. Frontier physics today works on string theory. There you can see approaches, right? The string theory is one of the approach of political physics, but but it is also very philosophical in a sense, right? It is came out of thought experiment. But theories of physics like Newton's theory, like photoactivity theory by Einstein, or Big Bang theory. All these theories, all these theories are definitive. So have physics as a natural science have definitive theories. There cannot be multiple perspective on a singular issue, right? It is very definitive. It is very repetitive. But in political science, approaches there can be approaches. Even though a concept is definitive, there can be concept which is definitive, but there can be multiple perspectives on it, right? Multiple perspectives on it. So we have to understand the perspectives in political science, approaches in political science. So we'll start with the first approach in political science, which is, or I will give you a broad overview on approaches in political science. Approaches in political science. There are two kinds of approaches in political science, two broad kind. First kind is first kind is traditional. Second kind is modern. What are traditional approaches? Traditional approaches are philosophical approach. There is historical approach, then empirical approach. Right? Modern approaches are behavioral approach, then post-behavioral approach, postmodern approach, systems approach, structural functional approach. These are approaches to political science. These are modern perspective and these are traditional perspective. We'll start with understanding of traditional perspectives, starting with traditional philosophical approach. There are two kinds of approaches in political science, traditional and modern. In traditional, there is philosophical, historical, empirical. In modern, there is behavioral, more postmodern, structural, struct systems, and structural functional approach. So we'll start with philosophical or normative approach to political science. Philosophical or normative approach to political science. What is philosophy? Philosophy, the Hindi word of philosophy is darshan, right? Darshan is like a mirror, not a mirror. It darshan. Darshan is a very philosophical Hindi word in itself. It is philosophy is basically it is love for knowledge, right? Love for knowledge, right? Very reason based, very application based, very ideas based, right? Very ideas based. Philosophical approach to political science. It means knowledge or idea based approach. Philosophical, which is knowledge or idea based approach. This is also known as normative approach. This is also known as normative approach. What is normative or what is the origin word of normative? It is norms. It is norms. What are norms? Norms are some basic principle which are not codified, which have to be followed by the by and large the whole society, right? Norms, right, which is standard, which is usual, which is typical. Norms are non-codified values which a society should follow, right? Should follow. What is a norm? Let's say there is this norm that society extends this norm that we should clean our roads. Let's say this is a norm that there is this value of cleanliness that we have to follow. So what is a norm? Norm is like justice, that there should be justice within society. Norm is like equality, that there should be equality within society, right? So philosophical or normative approach to political science. Philosophical or normative approach to political science. How political science emerged is due to this philosophical normative approach only. So political science as discipline is offshoot of political philosophy. Political science is offshoot of political philosophy. What is offshoot? Extension. It is basically extension. Political science is extension of political philosophy. It emerged. It emerged with Socratic theory of knowledge. Based on Socratic theory of knowledge, Plato wrote his theory. Plato wrote his Republic, right? Plato wrote his book Republic. This is philosophical normative approach to political science, right? Whereby Plato says that politics is ethics. Socrates says, this is also seconded by Aristotle. Socrates says that why to study something or why to do something, why to do something is just to do lead a good life, right? This conception of ethics as given by Socrates was changed by Plato to political philosophy to lead a good political life. So normativists or philosophical thinkers will be very much limited to ideas, will be very much limited to knowledge with respect to good political life, politics, and ethics. Right? Then Aristotle, what Aristotle does? Aristotle gives his theory of Francis, whereby he gives a theory which is practical. He wants to give a theory which is practical. He wants to bring practicality to political theory, right? And he suggests that teleology of political theory is to solve normative issues. Final cause of political theory is to solve normative issues, normative dilemmas. Today, this approach, which originated from Socrates to Plato to Aristotle, today, philosophical approach today. Rawls is philosophical. He puts forward his theory of justice. Rawls gives theory of justice. So Rawls is a major exponent of philosophical approach to political science. Then there is Leo Strauss, right? And Rawls suggests his theory of justice is moral framework in forming public policy. So there is normative normative approach to public policy, whereby he forms his theory of justice so that there should be a normative framework to form a public policy. Then Strauss is there. Strauss is there. Leo Strauss, Leo Strauss talks about Leo Strauss talks about and he is critical of value free analysis. Right? Value free analysis. He says a theory of justice or a public policy or or within political science, you have to be very philosophical. You have to be normative. You cannot do study of political science without understanding the values within political science. This value free analysis, right? He criticized value free analysis. Strauss criticized value free analysis, and how this value free analysis came about in political science was due to behavioral revolution. Behavioral revolution, right? Behavioralism we are going to understand in the next lecture. For now, let's just say what behavioralists tried to do. They tried to make political science scientific. How do you make a discipline scientific? By by making it repetitive, by assuming that outcomes of a particular experiments can be repetitive, right? There can be experiments which can be conducted in real world on a particular phenomena. The results can be quantified, right? Sy- Systematization of particular phenomena can be done, and there can be value free analysis. There can be value free analysis. So what behavioralism basically wanted to do was make political science scientific and say that say that political science can be without values, right? So what basically they tried to do is to say that without values like justice, equality, rights, without values which are philosophical, without them as well, we can understand and write theories of political science. This approach of behavioralist, which was talking about value-free analysis, values like justice, equality, rights, we should discard values like justice from political science, and we should stick to experimentation, quantification, systematization, so that political science becomes scientific, right? In this, we'll understand David Easton, right? Don't worry, behavioralism we are going to understand, even if it is not, even if you don't understand it now, we will understand it in other lecture specific to behavioralism. Easton calls philosophy, Easton calls philosophy to be speculation. Eastern's call philosophy to be speculations. Eastern's call philosophy to be redundant and not useful in today's era. Against this, Strauss brings out importance of values in political science, importance of norms in political science. Right? So this is right. This is traditional approach number one, philosophical normative approach to political science, whereby thinkers talk about philosophical ideas, talk about metaphysical ideas, talk about normative ideas. So everything and everyone who is very idealistic, you can write him in this topic. Right? I have mentioned Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Rawls, and Leo Strauss. All them are very much related to values and norms. But what is the issue issues with issues with philosophical approach? If you are limited to philosophical approach, you will realize that values are abstract. That is, one one type of value can mean different things for different people. So values are abstract. Then values lack verifiability. Values lack verifiability. With values which are normative, there is issue of biasness. Right? Values can be biased. Equality can be biased. And and value value valued analysis or philosophical theories can be inductive, can be not inductive, they can be deductive, right? Philosophical theories can have the conclusion ready, and philosophical theories will gather such proofs that support their conclusion. There that can be there. So that is the issue with philosophical or normative approach to political science, whereby you analyze political science through ideas, through norms, through values. What who are the exponents? Leo Strauss, Rawls, and what is the issue? That values are abstract, values can and lack verifiability. There can be biasness, issue of biasness, and value can be deductive as well. This was philosophical approach to political science. We'll start with historical approach to political science from the next lecture. Thank you so much. Bye bye.